thank all the brands participating in the New Beverage Showdown for sharing your story with us. We felt your passion, we felt your soul, and we really appreciate it. And I really think there's a big upside for all of you. So congratulations, and hope to hear from you again soon. So. And before it gets a little crazy when we announce the winner, so I just want to thank all of you for coming to BevNet Live. You make this a great show for us to produce, and we're here to help in any way, so talk to us soon. Thank you. All right, let's talk about some of the great things that we saw in the finalists, and then we can talk about some things that you might need some constructive criticism, as it were. We saw some brands that did a really good job of storytelling and sort of integrating that storytelling in their packaging and in their messaging. What are some examples, not necessarily of the brands that are doing it, but how they did it? Kim?
I would say packaging, obviously, it's the hardest working asset that you have. And so I think we saw a number of examples where the packaging was really working hard for the brands. And I think that really helped kind of connect the dots. And it felt like it was very integrated in terms of the storytelling. And then what are you seeing exactly on the point of, at the point of sale in terms of the shelf. And so we saw several examples where we thought the packaging was really, really strong.
Yeah, and sort of clear messaging, clean packaging, clean labeling. In what ways can some brands, or what ways did brands do that well, Greg?
One is the use of color. So if you've got, it looks like a rainbow, that tends to be distracting, especially to the messaging. So clean color paletting is good. Minimal amount use of words. Also, I think a brand name that isn't complicated and easy to grasp are things that all work together to help a brand be disruptive in this day and age.
Yeah. Differentiated was a big word that we heard in the room. What did some of these brands do well in terms of differentiation while remaining sort of familiar to the everyday consumer? Nicole?
I think several brands did a great job of differentiating in crowded categories, either through the story or the packaging being different and innovative. So I think I think across that we saw that there were some better than others, but definitely we saw that with several.
Yeah, and Ken, scale is the name of the game. Did you believe that some of these brands could scale, and why?
Well, sure. Scale is, it has different trajectories and different definitions for like these nascent brands. Scaling is like, I guess, getting to the point of attention from the kind of money that would get them to the next level.
Right.
So the initial benchmark is sort of, can you get to $1 million? And then can you get to 5? And then can you get to 10? And then how do you do it? Do you do it by building a foundation, increasing your sales per point of distribution, or your VPO? Very important. That's the way to build a sustainable foundation. And I think without naming names, there's an opportunity with any of those finalists. I think the judges from the first round did a really great job of, you're the only repeat judge, so.
Thanks.
But thank you to the first round of judges for giving us, making our work somewhat easier.
Yeah. And in terms of formulation, John, some really good flavors. I just heard over and over how good everything tasted. Anything that really stood out in terms of why, and we heard about sugar counts and things like that. Is that really something that's stood out for you in this competition?
Yeah, I think, again, thinking back to a few years ago where people were trying to cut sugar and there was like a massive compromise to the flavor. I think, the products that we saw today that successfully did that, for the most part, we're able to do that and still maintain, a good level of flavor, or we're at least kind of in the right ballpark. So I think, that was definitely a positive for all the products that we tried.
Yeah, quick notes on constructive criticism. I heard there were some things in the presentation that you guys wanted to see. What's important to include in a presentation when you're pitching, Kim?
Price, obviously. We want to make certain that it's right at that price point where it's going to allow you to have kind of those type of transactions that you want to see any brand have. In addition, we talked a lot about kind of various kind of route to markets and how are they really thinking about kind of the whole distribution and what's their focus channel versus where they want to go next, et cetera. So
Yeah. Defining a specific consumer base, a target market was also something that was something that you wanted to see out of some of the presentations. Greg, how do they effectively do that?
Well, I mean, also shelf life.
Yep.
And temperature state, and where's it going to go in store. All those kind of factor into judging the idea. I think even from a consumer standpoint, you're really trying to get all that understood so that it can justify the price point.
Okay. And last thing, I think the word kitchen or the phrase kitchen sink was used, in terms of ingredients. How do you really kind of identify and sort of strip it down to something where it's easily identifiable, I mean, while still having a lot of the stuff that you want to include in it? I'd throw that to anyone. How about Nicole? Or no, Ken. Sure. Ken, you raised your hand.
Oh.
I think it's Tourette's. No. No, I think if you're taking a kitchen sink approach to your product, I think it's incumbent upon, especially of a bootstrapping entrepreneur, to do those demos in store themselves and hear what's the primary piece of feedback, what's the secondary, what's the tertiary, and then you get an idea of what's resonating with the consumer.
Okay. Great feedback. It's the check. The check for $5,000 in cash from VEB. Thanks so much. And there's also a prize package of $5,000 as well. So for a total of $10,000 in cash and prizes, the winner of New Beverage Showdown 12 is Mother Beverage. Congratulations. Come on up stage.
It's the hair. His hair. It's his hair.
Well done, guys. Great presentation, great brand. Congratulations. Here's your check. Congratulations. I think we're going to, one of the judges want to say thank you, and then we'll take a picture with you in the check.
Congratulations. Great job.
congratulations.
Nice job.
Great job.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Great job.
Nice job.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Congrats.
All right, so you can take a picture of the check. Yes. All right, that concludes BevNet Live Winter 2016. Thank you all so much for coming. We hope to see you in June for BevNet Live Summer 2017, and that's only in 6 months, so stay tuned and we'll see you soon.